fans. So we got UFC 279 this Saturday. We are just a few more days away from that. Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now I want to ask you guys something. Can Khamzat Chimaev win? Absolutely. Absolutely. Khamzat Chimaev has many ways he could win this fight. He has youth on his side. He is much younger. He has the strength. Absolutely. Khamzat Chimaev is actually a really big welterweight. He actually has fought in middleweight before. He has actually even mentioned about possibly fighting at light heavyweight. So he is a very big guy. Very big guy. Strength, absolutely. We've seen how he did against his opponent, the Leech. He was able to carry him across the cage, talking to Dana White, saying something, I can't remember exactly what, and then slamming him on the ground. So, yes, he is a very, very high grappler, a very experienced grappler. He definitely has a high level when it comes to the ground. Very strong, very powerful. Again, when it comes to the ground, he has literally the strength to be able to do that. It ain't the easiest, especially at a high level, And yes, the Leech isn't the greatest welterweight, but he's still, I think around that top 10, top 15. Now he could take punishment. We've seen what he was able to do with Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns is no punk. Gilbert Burns can actually crack. Gilbert Burns is strong. Gilbert Burns has a lot of experience on the ground, and he was able to withstand a lot of that punishment that Gilbert Burns was given to him, and he was able to fire back. We've seen him just completely just unleash and unload in those rounds. It was a 3-round fight, and Khamzat Chimaev was able to fire back, and he was able to actually bounce back because we saw him get cracked in that second round, and he was in trouble. He was literally on shaky legs. He looked like the fight was going to be actually over. He looked like the fight was actually going to be over, but he was able to bounce back from that. So we now were able to see him bouncing back from adversity, where there is no quit in him. Most fighters, a lot of fighters, as a matter of fact, we've seen them, they get knocked out like that, and it's just they either clam up, shield up, and then that's it, the fight's over. Where Khamzat, fortunate for him, when they did get cracked, the round wasn't very much long left. There was some time left, but then the round was over, and he was able to recover, go into the third round, where he was able to come back and bounce back again. It's very tricky because we've seen MMA fighters, when it's going to the way they want it to go, it's like they have their flow, they have the rhythm, everything's going the way they want it to go, and then they go for that victory. But then as soon as it doesn't go the way they planned, as soon as it doesn't go the way they want it to go, then all of a sudden it's just like they get shaky, they get shaken up, they don't know what to do, they get confused, their game plan just falls apart. They don't know how to adapt. They don't know how to switch up their game plans, go to plan B. It's like if plan A ain't working, then that's it. It's done. But that's not the way Khamzat Chimaev, and that's not what we've seen him in. We've seen him go through all these other guys in the welterweight division and even in the middleweight a little bit as well. And it was always going his way. Now we saw what he was like when it's not going his way. We saw what it was like with Gilbert Burns cracking him and him getting down and getting shaken up and getting dropped. He didn't clam up. He didn't shell up. He straight up got back, looked for a plan B, and was able to survive. Was able to come back and get that victory. Which he did. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. It could have gone either way, but it looked like more Khamzat Chimaev definitely did win that fight for sure. So yeah, he definitely does. He doesn't have a high level experience, really, though. He doesn't have the attention experience. And what I mean by that, he hasn't really been as a main event in a UFC program before. You look at all his fights, they're all undercard fights. And with that being said, he's never been 5 rounds before. His Gilbert Burns fight was the first time he's ever went 3 rounds. And the first time he's ever went into even the second round, because majority of his fights were really, really quick. So now we got to see a little bit of his cardio. He definitely looked like he was fading. So I definitely don't want to say cardio is on his side. I could be wrong, because again, this is his first time. Nate Diaz, that he is going, first time fighting Nate Diaz, that he is going 5 rounds. So we don't know really truly how good his cardio is. We've seen a little bit of it, and it definitely did not look good. It did not look great. But again, we could be mistaken. Maybe he will get that second wind in the third or fourth round and come back even stronger in the fifth round. Who knows? But from what we can tell, it doesn't look like it. And we would have to give that cardio edge more towards Nate Diaz. The strength edge, 100% to him. The power edge, 100% to him. As far as being in the spotlight, again, this is his first time as a main event. And again, this is the first time in a main event on a big stage. You know, it's good to be in a main event on a fight night card, maybe somewhere in the country, in the States. Sure, you know, it's like, yeah, you're going to have a lot of eyes, but now you're in Vegas. Now you're on the big grand stage. This is the fight capital of the world. And now you got all eyes on you. And not just that, now we got to see, we don't know how good he is under pressure, because now he's under a lot of pressure. You got literally 90% of the MMA community choosing you, saying you're going to destroy Nate Diaz, saying that you're just going to completely annihilate Nate Diaz, and he himself is actually saying that he's going to kill Nate Diaz and such, that he's going to destroy Nate Diaz and such. So now we got to see, how can he handle all this pressure? Because when you have all this pressure on you, when you've been the first time in the main event, when this is the first time you're 5 rounds, when this is the first time you're standing across a big superstar like Nate Diaz, you know, and plans don't go your way, you tend to like get a little type of nervous. You start throwing off your game plan. We've seen what he did with Gilbert Burns. You know, it's like he just wanted to show how good he was. And he had a tendency of just going straight for that kill instead of playing it smart. That's where that fight was end up being a lot closer, because his coach even said he fell off that game plan. And then that's another thing. And another thing we got to look into this is that this is the first time fighting someone like Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is not one of your respectful fighters like a Gilbert Burns. You know, like some of these other guys are going to bow. They're going to like show respect to you in the fight. They're going to, you know, touch your glove. Nate Diaz is the kind of guy that's going to slap your glove away, flip you off, and call you all kinds of names in the book. He is going to make sure he throws you off your game plan. He wants to piss you off. He is going to slap you across the face. He's never went in there with someone like that. And it's very distracting. You know, I remember watching a fight with I can't remember who it was, but I believe it was a Diaz brother. And you hear in the background, Frank Shamrock was actually commentating. I think it was, you know, I can't remember who it was, but he remembers, like, it's so distracting hearing, you know, someone talk to you like that while you're fighting. And it pisses you off. It gets you aggravated. It gets you annoyed, because it's just like, damn, you know, here I'm fighting. This guy's talking shit to me, and he's probably even winning. So you're not even thinking about your game plan. You're just thinking about the moment, what's going on right there. So that's the first time for Khamzat Chimaev too. That's the very first time. You know, he has to see how you can handle that. You know, it's one thing to handle a guy that's respectful. Then it's one thing to handle someone slapping you and disrespecting you. Can you keep your game plan? Can you keep your composure? So, can Khamzat Chimaev win? Absolutely. Is he favored to win? 100%. You know, again, 90% of the MMA community is choosing for him to win. I feel like if he does win, it's definitely going to be early, but because we don't know how good his cardio is. But if it goes into the later rounds, I do feel Nate Diaz has that edge. But I could be wrong. I would like to know what you guys think. Do you think this is a really straight up 100% shutout for Khamzat Chimaev, or is Nate Diaz having a much more chance? Or is this going to be a back and forth battle? And is Khamzat Chimaev going to stick to his game plan, or is he going to get psyched out because that's what Nate Diaz likes to do and that's what he is known for doing? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the fight. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.